So that really is kind of a fallacy then. I mean, I think, a lot of people think that, for instance, when I go to Tarpon Springs, I like to get like a shish kebab or a gyro with lamb and chicken and that kind of thing in it. But that's not the kind of day-to-day diet that the old Greeks used to imbibe in.
Not at all. It's mainly vegetarian, plant-based diet with some meat. And so to this day, it's like that, and really it evolved out of necessity. And spending time on my grandfather's farm, I very well understood why. I mean, if you just look at the geography of the region, they can't really support cows and large steer and big animals.
Mostly farming then.
It's round, the ground itself can't support that kind of grazing. I mean, I learned all that having stayed there and realized.
Now, where was this farm?
It was in the mountains of Tripoli.
Okay.
In the Peloponnese of Greece.
Wow.
And to get there is quite a hair-raising event. I'd say it's an 8-hour drive from Athens, across the Corinthian Canal, going into the Peloponnese part of Greece. And it's a hair-raising drive through the mountains to get there. So it takes a lot to get, and it is an isolated part of Greece.
But most of the agriculture, then they couldn't. They couldn't have big fields where the livestock and whatnot could graze, and so they mostly raised plant material for themselves to eat.
Exactly. It was wild gathered and cultivated plant foods, and of course, you can have goats, which can do well in that area. Sheep. Lamb, not as many of them though. You're always limited by the grazing land. A lot of it is rocky land. If you're familiar at all with the geography of Greece, you would see that, you don't have these vast pastoral areas. Really it's a Mediterranean climate and geography that supports, olive trees and grapevines and that sort of agriculture. And so because it's a Mediterranean climate, year round you can get you can cultivate and pick wild gathered greens in particular. It's the greens, I'm stressing them, it was shocking to me, are a tremendous part of the diet. And you hear the word greens and you're like, all right, spinach. Well, what else is there? Well, in Greece, there's hundreds of varieties of greens, many different types of herbs and large, green leafy type of greens are eaten in large amounts. And the researchers found that really is what separates their diet from, let's say, the Italian diet.
Yeah.
Them.
This is fascinating stuff, and I can attest a little bit anyway to the fact that it works. And I'll tell you why. Just a little personal story here. I typically have pretty high cholesterol, and I mean that's part of it's hereditary, I know, but a lot of it too is just what I eat. And so my cholesterol had been running in the 250 range, somewhere in that ballpark, 250 to 260. Well, I went, and for just like 2.5 to 3 weeks, I went to an almost all plant-based diet. I got my cholesterol checked, and after about 2.5 weeks, it went down to 200.
Wow.
So we're talking about this huge drop in cholesterol. So, yes, I've seen it personally myself that this more plant-based diet can be extremely healthy.